Welcome back to another video from here in the States in the old familiar snake room. Today is going to be the video that we are going to bring you guys the rest of the details and the information on the breeding of our Papuan spotted pythons. So for those of you that follow the channel, you already kind of know sort of what's been happening. I'll bring it up to speed just very briefly. Our Antaresia papuensis bred for us, and we were able to get eggs while we were in Thailand. Actually, my family, my mom, she was able to pull off a breeding. So I was kind of holding her hand through it, and I was giving her directions through Facebook Messenger and phone calls and that sort of thing. And we actually pulled it off together. All of us as a family, we pulled it off. So very, very excited for that. And before I show you guys the babies and I give you all of this information, I just want to tell you guys that this is super motivating for me. It is a very special event. There's not many times in a keeper's life that they're able to actually breed a brand new species for the very first time and bring captive bred babies into the world, into the hobby. And it's just super motivating for me because now I really want to pursue other python species and other localities and other new animals that we actually discovered on our last trip that we didn't show you guys because we're working on getting some new animals in. So hopefully, fingers crossed, those animals show up and we're able to get the opportunity to breed some new animals for the hobby, of course. But anyway, give you guys some information and let's look at the babies. I'm going to show them all to you. Let's get started. So on March 23rd, one of our females laid eggs. She laid 9 eggs. One egg was obviously infertile and there was another egg that was questionable. So I was kind of putting the count at 7 good eggs. I incubated those eggs at 88 degrees, and the last 2 weeks for the eggs that went the distance, I dropped it 2 or 3 degrees. So for those last 14 days, I dropped it just a little bit, which is something that I normally do with most eggs anyway. So the babies started leaving the eggs between days 58 and 60. And on June 4th, the first animals started to have their very first shed. Now, I got home here into the US on June 13th. So I didn't want anybody to start any feeding trials until I got home because there's not a lot of experience in doing that with my family members. So I wanted to be the one to be able to do that. So I started feeding trials in that, and I'll discuss that as I'm showing you guys the babies. Let's take a look. So the first one I'm going to show you was the first one to leave the egg, and also was actually the first one to feed for me. Now these babies are still very small, but when they hatched, they were even smaller than that. So you can see they're just basically an exact duplicate of the parents. Lots of spots, lots of interesting color. The spots to me seem very clear and sharp compared to the adults. And I'll show you the mom at the end of the video so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But in these babies, the spots just are very crisp and clear. Really, really nice. So this particular animal, I offered everybody unscented live day-old pinky mice, and I got 0 success. So then I started with the scenting. So I scented with bird, I scented with gecko, I scented with frog, and they were just turning their nose at everything. So one of the last things that I attempted to scent with was water from a can of tuna for people, right? Can of tuna fish. This one took it immediately, and even to this day, this one will not touch Pinkies unless they're scented with tuna. Actually, I take it back. I think the last meal actually was just the last meal was finally unscented, just normal. And I'm actually having luck with frozen thawed. So that's number 1. The next one that basically fed on the identical same regimen was this one. Same exact thing. It doesn't make any sense to me why tuna fish would be something that would get these guys to key up, but it worked, and that's all that mattered. And this animal right here, the last meal was just a regular frozen thawed Pinky that I left in there. So same as the other one, these two are well on their way, super well established. Now the other two, they were a problem. It was these two right here. These two were an issue. So I tried everything and nothing would work. So I assist fed both of these animals with a small mouse tail segment. And the assist feeding went okay, it was not a big deal. Then the next go around, I had to try some other things. This one eventually took a live Pinky for me. And this one, amazingly enough, took a frozen thawed for me. So, you know, they just kind of, they'll be finicky for whatever reason. And then at some point, the goal is to have them kick in, and that's exactly what's happening. So you can see by the body weight and everything else, like these guys are doing quite well. So I'm super optimistic, and I was really nervous in the beginning. Didn't even want to show you guys any of these animals because they were being really difficult, but I have things going in a really, really good direction right now. So that is it. And this one, at the time of hatching, to me was kind of more like a runt, but it seems to have caught up with the others, and we are off to the races. So I have not sexed these four. I have no idea what the sex breakdown is going to be, but whatever it is, I'm going to take it. I'm super happy about it. So for those of you that are curious how Mom is doing, she fed probably, I think she took food like 2 weeks after she laid eggs. So I'll show you her in a second. So this is Mom again. You've seen her before, and she's got her weight back and everything is good. So this is how she looks. You can see how the spots like aren't as crisp and clean as those babies. So, but Mom is doing well. She's taken a bunch of meals, frozen thawed. She's not being picky at all. So I'm going to be increasing the food a little bit and fattening her up so I can give her another shot at things this winter. The male is deep in shed, so I'm not even going to show you the male. And I'll show you the other female. She's put on a lot of size as well. So this is the other girl. She is catching up in size to the others. So I am going to give her a go this winter as well. If you remember when she arrived, she was just a tiny little thing. So she's been doing quite well. So as the video comes to a close, I'm going to close it with this Papuan water python. This is one of my two females. I have two clutch mates that I imported from Indonesia, and they are adult now. They are getting almost full size. They still have some growing to do, but they've put on enough size to the point where I'm pretty sure that they're going to be breedable. So I think we're going to give them a try this winter as well. The reason that I'm showing you guys this is because these rare snakes, right? These rare pythons, I'm super motivated. I pulled off what to me seemed like the impossible, and these have been bred before in the US as well, but very few people are working with the Papuan ones. Mostly it's the Australian ones. So I have a trio of the Papuan ones, and I'm going to keep them pure. But this is a lot of fun for me working with these pythons, right? And so, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm working on getting some other stuff that's pretty cool, really rare, or stuff that hasn't been seen in a long time. So fingers crossed for that shipment. I hope that it comes in well and the animals are good. And we're going to be setting up some really interesting python projects. Nothing gigantic, of course, right? Because I don't do retics here, and all these pythons pretty much, aside from scrub pythons, they're kind of what I would consider like a medium-sized snake, and these to me are very small and manageable. So these are cool for me and what I want to do. So it just so happens that I don't need to step up any kind of like huge caging or anything like that. So, all right, and that being said, you guys, Patreon is live. So there's going to be Discord, which is like a forum board that we could all have all kinds of discussions on, crowdcast for our Patreon only meetings, video chats, and that sort of thing. So I'm pretty excited, you guys. I want to get the ball rolling. I want to connect with you guys. I think we're going to have some really, really interesting conversations and discussions. I tried to keep it pretty PC on this channel, but you know, if you guys want to get into it in the Patreon sections or whatever, I'm game. I don't really have too much of a filter when it comes to this stuff. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and Reptile Super Show's coming, so we will put out some content here soon, give you guys some show preview and that sort of thing. So that is it. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the next one.